Hey guys, it's Ike. So, today I wanted to discuss thermostats. I've already discussed mercury thermostats. So today I kind of wanted to discuss electronic ones that are actuated by relays rather than mercury. So this one in particular is electronic. It's a Linux. So I know it says 11 degrees. It is not anywhere close to 11 degrees in here. 12 degrees now. In fact, you can kind of see that. It's actually a whopping 75 in here. So that 12 degrees is a little bit inaccurate as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, discussing these. This is a Linux 1F94W-9, also known as a Emerson or a White Rogers 1F94W-71 thermostat. So this is a heat pump thermostat. It also can be gas or just regular straight electric. But this was taken out of a situation that it was gas heat, straight cool. Actually, it was, I think it was 2-stage heat with 2-stage cooling as well. Now, I acquired this, still works. I wonder if it actually would turn on right now. But with this thermostat in particular, you got to have a C wire or a common wire to power this thermostat. So obviously it's on. That's because it's running from battery power. Also, another note about this thermostat. I actually, whenever I acquired it, I actually hooked it up to my system inside my room here, or inside this room, because I have my computer that really makes the room really hot if I'm gaming on it. So in the summer, it gets around 80 in here, 85, somewhere around there, if I don't have any air conditioning on. And then in the winter, it's always kind of cool in here. So I gotta have some, I have to have it on whenever my computer's not running. So anyway, about this thermostat. So it's programmable, has heat, emergency heat, cool, and it also has an auto function. Now the auto function you got to adjust with the dip switches in the back, which I will discuss the dip switches in a moment. However, most electronic thermostats aren't like so complicated regarding programming. Actually, for instance, if I can find my thermostat, but I have a another thermostat that it's a lot simpler to program. It's actually this one. All you gotta do is go in the manual and go through it and change. This one actually has a lot more features than this one here. But this one here, I guess you could say it's easy to program, but whenever it comes to the programming of the schedule, it is definitely a little bit more difficult to do. So, to explain this a little bit more in detail, you need a C wire for this thermostat in particular. I'm going to set it to off. So normally whenever you change the temperature it would beep, or if you clicked any button, but since you don't have a C wire it won't do that. So let's first discuss the back of this. So this buzzer is really loud. So I went ahead and put tape over it so I didn't disturb the rest of the house by clicking on it whenever I was programming it. So I'll just leave that there. So these are the dip switches I was talking about here. These dip switches is what adjust the settings on it, the configurations. So if 1 and 2 was up, it would be single stage compressor or heat pump system. If actually, I'll just put something up on the screen that will show what these are for. So the battery here, if it gets a low battery alert, so I'll just kind of do this real quick. It's going to get loud in a minute, but I got this over it. So it's blink a battery, and it'll start beeping really, really loud for like about a minute. So once that starts going off, we'll set this aside until it starts beeping, which it should start beeping soon. So we'll talk about this. There it goes. So blank, and then that's that. So I'm gonna stick this battery back in, and then it rebooted itself. And now it says 72 in here since I rebooted it. So anyway, so as its temperature sensor down here, and then just a whole bunch of little capacitors, and that type of stuff here and there. I could pop this front piece off and then show you the behind the display, but it's very difficult to do that. So that's basically this. You just have your battery, the computer in here, the temperature sensor, a few diodes here and there, and then your programming dip switches, and your microcontrollers here, and a small relay there. But that's that. But what does all the redirecting is this just sends voltage to or sends the signal down to the back plate or the base plate here, and this is what does all the switching. As you can see, each one of these yellow or orange blocks these are actually relays, 24 volt relays. This wire here with this thermostat, you got to jump W1 and Y1 if you want the heat pump to work, and then you got OB, you got Y1, Y2, C, which is your common, which you gotta have, which is required, G, W1, E1, E2, so that's emergency heat 1, emergency heat 2. L is you hook that up to some systems and it will let you know on the thermostat if there's a malfunction. For example, this one here, your malfunction light is right here, and that light will tell you that there's something wrong with the system. My current thermostat, I have it set up to where it will, if it gets too full, what it will do is it will, like I made a homemade little condensate pump thing. So if it gets too full, it will cut power to the unit, or it will cut power to the thermostat. It will cut common, and it won't allow it to turn on, and then there I can either dump it or I can figure out why it didn't pump. So you have each of the relays here, 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 here. You got other thermostats that have smaller relays. This is for like a commercial. This can be used in a commercial application. It just can't handle as many amps, but there are relays behind this plastic here. So these are bigger, more meaty, I guess you could say, relays. You have the capacitors, which are to help with these relays. There is one microcontroller right here that receives the signal from the thermostat itself, and it converts it into converts that into a redirection signal to redirect each of these relays and such. That's basically all this is. Unlike a mercury thermostat, which is a little bit, it's as simple as you possibly can get, because all you got here is the mercury, and that's it. There's nothing, and then you just got the little circuit board back there, which helps redirect power and stuff for whenever you turn it on and off. And that's basically all that is. But this here, you got microcontrollers. Most of these require batteries if you want to save the date and time. Otherwise, that's basically all this thermostat is. It's pretty straightforward. Eventually I will do a video on how to how these work, like what happens whenever you for example, turn it on. I got a whole bunch of little PC fans I can just set up, and then that way you can kind of see how it works. regarding the relays and all that. It may not be this thermostat in particular because this thermostat requires 24 volts, but the touchscreen one here, I might be able to get away with hooking up fans because this one does not require the C wire. However, just requires the RH, RC, that type of wires, those types of wires, and then just a couple AA's, and then the thermostat would work. So overall, that's how an electronic thermostat works. Just basically, it has a little resistor that tells it, and then it converts that over into a signal. This processes the resistance across the resistor, because resistors change resistance as temperature goes up and down, and then these microcontrollers process that information and is like, okay, it's this temperature, you have the temperature set to this, I need to turn on the system. So it sends a signal to this microcontroller, but most of them are all in one, and then it flips on the relay that is needed to satisfy the temperature. These thermostats here have an auto function, which you just set the heat temperature, you set the cool temperature, you put it on auto, and you can forget about it, and it will stay within that temperature range. So that's basically a one of these thermostats. This is how a electronic thermostat works. This video may have been kind of a jumble, but it gets the point across. What's nice about these thermostats? There's no mercury. If there's mercury, you gotta recycle them properly, but you don't have to worry about these types of thermostats here which have mercury in them. These thermostats don't have mercury in them, so you could just throw them away if you need to, but still take it to an electronic recycling place and recycle it properly. Because just throwing these in the landfill are not a very smart move. You're just polluting the atmosphere while you're polluting the environment, and it's not very good. So anyway, yeah, that's how an electronic thermostat works. Pretty straightforward. These probably break. These actually don't outlast these, because these are all just wire, like a coil of metal, mercury, and that type of stuff. These things last. These generally break after a while. A relay gets stuck or something of that nature. But overall, these are more convenient, more modern, and that's basically it for an electronic one. A lot more user-friendly. And some actually thermostats come, like this one here, I believe it's if you click two buttons in here. I'm not going to say, because if you do have this thermostat and you do that, I don't want to be liable for you destroying your compressor, but there are two buttons you can click, and it will actually bypass that compressor delay and kick on the compressor right away. But I don't want to tell you about how to do that because I don't want to be liable for your compressor being destroyed for prematurely starting it. So anyway, that's how electronic thermostat works. Thanks for watching, and Monday, probably maybe Tuesday, depending whenever I get done editing the video. I actually, last Monday, I won a giveaway with HVACR videos. Chris, go check out his channel, link in the description. I actually, his live stream Monday night, I won Field Piece Joblink probes from him. He just kind of did an after show, and he's like, guess the movie quote. And I guessed it correctly, and I was the first one to send him an email. So yeah, I will do an unboxing of those Monday. I don't know if I'll get the video out Monday. I might get it out Tuesday, but no later than Tuesday night. So anyway, thank you guys for watching.